Okay, over to
All
you.
right. We're back, and first, I think I need to apologize for the technical challenges that we had there, trying to get every of our speakers on board, and then also, the connection also kind of like was, erratic in between there, where we had to leave Derby for a while, doing our thing. I think we just have to continue from from the things that you've been talking about. I know that you've been talking about different types or different styles rather of parenting. We know that there are four types. We know that there is the authoritative, there is the permissive, there is the authoritarian, and there's the neglectful. Style of parenting. And these are the things that we've seen across board. We've seen them all around, and it's not just affecting boy child alone. It's affecting other people. But because we are more concerned about the boy child, so we are trying to now put the focus more on the boy child, because for a number of times you see that people tend to not give a lot of attention to boys, and we see a lot of boys who grew as a result of neglectful parents. I mean, Faithful, we've been on outreaches together, and you've seen some of these things yourself. What do you think are the prevalent issues that we can address from here? What do you have to say to that, Faithful?
Okay, all right. Thank you, and welcome back once again. Like we already spoke about the different types of parenting, and just like you mentioned, a lot of boys are neglected to pay more attention to than the boy. So a lot of boys are neglected. All right. Now, the issue with parenting the boy child in the 21st century is that one, these boys are they need a model, they need a figure in their life. Now, imagine a child growing up who needs a father figure or something in his life and is being
Mhm.
neglected. The father is absent, the father is nowhere to be seen. It has a lot of impact on these children, on these boys rather. Now,
Yeah,
the fact is that for
correct.
this boy, for children generally, there is this part of their brain that keeps developing, it's not fully developed until a certain stage.
Sure.
For such a child whose prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until maybe mid 20s, and that child is suffering neglect already, there's going to be behavioral issues
Sure.
because that is how, boys tend to, they are trained to internalize, keep things to, you will hear you be man,
Themselves.
show that you're a man.
Yeah.
So for that reason, they keep emotions down within them. Yes. The result of this is that they now go back, all right, to build a defense mechanism in form
Mhm.
of troubled behavior, in form of bad behavior. That's why you will now see that
Yeah.
it's not prevalent among adolescents. They are smoking, they are taking shisha, they are doing all manner of things. Some of them is as a result of neglect that they suffer from the home front. So these are the
Yeah.
issues we are having with parenting a boy child in this generation, in this 21st century, because this century, this 21st century children, they have information at their fingertips.
At your fingertips.
They have access
Definitely.
to any information they want to get. So the moment they feel neglected, now a boy child is trained to absorb emotions, right? So
Yeah.
they might not even speak out. They will seek other, and that's where we now start having
Yeah.
troubled behaviors, bad behavior, what we call bad behaviors.
You know,
Indeed, they are
you know,
bad behaviors.
I think I
So
should,
that's one of the
yeah,
disadvantages
I should cut
of
you short
neglecting.
there. yeah, I should cut you there because because of our time, we need to touch all aspects. We've talked about the role of fathers.
Okay.
Our fathers are very, very critical, especially in the boy's life. Now, I think we need to now talk about the fact that
Mm.
a lot of parents, especially on our side, or in Nigeria and most African countries, are more used to using authoritarian style of parenting, and we've seen some, aside the neglect style of parenting, we've seen some who also use the permissive style of parenting. They just tend to shower the child with what they feel the child needs, believing that once the child has everything he needs, it will be able to win out of whatever behavior that they have. So what do you think? How do you think we can help parents or guardians or even teachers to move and migrate away from these styles of parenting that tend to bring out the negative aspects of our boys, and try to reinforce new attitudes using an authoritative style of parenting? What do you think are the things that we can do to shift our mindset and parenting
All
style
right.
from that area?
All right. Thank you so much. I think with this question, I can display some level of speaking authoritatively. All right. Maybe
All
because
right.
for some experience in that direction, we greatly advise
Okay.
that as a parent, you see that first style of parenting as your boy child is growing up, you must adopt the first style of parenting. Now, what the trick is now is knowing when to adopt which style of parenting. There's a time in your boy child life that you need to be permissive. You need to let him have some level of, some vote of confidence. So a
Mm,
bit of authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and a bit of it here and there. What I will never advise is a total neglect. No. But there are times in a boy child's life that you need to put it down, put your feet
let
down
let them
as
grow
the
into it.
older person. Like I said something in a meeting some days ago. I said this part of a child's brain who is responsible for taking decisions, evaluating consequences, and all. And this part of their brain is not even fully developed until they are like 33. That's the
Yeah.
reason why they need guidance. They need a parent who is present. There are times again, they need a parent authoritative. There are times they need a parent who is authoritarian. So it's a blend of this parenting style. That's the
In
only
between.
way you can bring out the best in your child. I will quickly give an instance. You know, I have a boy child who happens to be a very strong-willed child and a very confident
Mm,
child on all, right? There are times
yeah.
I have. I was telling a friend that the stage I am now with him is called the collaborative stage. It's a stage where I'm collaborating
Okay. I think I'm I think I'm losing the audio from Faithful over there. Dami, it's good to have you back. I don't know if you can hear me. We've been talking about how to help parents migrate from the parenting styles that leave a negative impact on the boy child to a more reinforced style that will help the boy child get into the aspects that we want them to be. And I probably may even have to suggest a few things myself, because as a parent myself, one of the things that you need to let your boy child know from the very start is let them know what they want to do.
I think Reverend has like a network issue. Maybe you both can take it from there. I think he has a network. You guys can continue.
Okay, so all right, Dami, you come back. I can see Dami is back.
Yes, I am.
Can you hear me, Dami?
Yes, I can, ma'am. Can you hear me?
All right, I said you are welcome back.
Yeah, okay.
We
I
were
think we're fully back.
direct house as it helps to reinforce positive in a boy child. And I think I've said a few things, and I let me quickly recap. I said as a parent to a boy child that you need to add bit and bit of all the, of course, neglecting the child. And I also mentioned that every stage as it goes, you have to know which parenting style to adopt as they grow. And I cited an example with myself that at this stage I am with my son now, we are in a stage that I'm collaborating with him. So in parenting, you have to understand the phase your child, your boy child is, and
Mhm.
the kind of style to adopt at each and every stage. And I think at that point, Reverend was saying something because I lost my mind, you know. So you need to understand, first and foremost, understand your boy child, understand the child you're dealing with. All right, that is not different from every other child. Then, as they grow, begin to identify the kind of parenting style that suits the level the child is at that particular point in time. And I also mentioned that as a parent, you also need to know that there are times to put your feet down. That's the authoritarian now. There's a that you have to be an authoritarian. You have to be permissive. That you have to be flexible. You know, some level of confidence in the child. Let him make some two mistakes, right? Then there is a stage where all you need to do is just to guide, is just to offer advice, is to guide and all that, reminding them that they are just still growing. The aim here is to reinforce positive behavior. If you stick to a particular parenting style and you keep going on with it, it can lead to negative behavior. But by the time you are picking a bit by bit of each parenting style, it will reinforce positive behavior. Because as your boy child grows, they begin to individualize, you know, they begin to separate and become as individuals. And as that happens, they will begin to exhibit a lot of going on. You have to know what to do, know what to do. I think I will hand it over to I will, Dami, I would like you to just pick it up from there.
Thank you. All right. So, Dami, now that we're talking
Dami, are
about
you there?
this, I think we should also
Okay.
now migrate away from that and talk about what about those boys that already have this behavior. They have this behavior that we're talking about now. This bad behaviors, but we want them to change. So, what do you think are some of the things that parents can do, to teach boys on how to restore them back into meaningful, having meaningful relationships? Some of those practices that boys can do. That will teach them accountability, that will teach them empathy, that will teach them, obedience, that will teach them the cause and effect, all of that. What are those things that you believe that parents can do to bring those practices to bear? I want Dami to, talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so for the boy child that is already a bad boy, quote and unquote, that already has the bad behaviors, right?
Yeah.
I think that parents have to understand first that it's possible to change them, because I feel like some parents
Yeah.
have this, they already are like that. Let's just leave him, right? Let's just leave him to be like that. First, it's let's like you have to
Mm.
understand that it's possible to actually
That
change
over
them.
time is going to change. Yes.
Yes, like, and it's like changing him, or yeah, changing him as the case may be, is also your responsibility as a parent. There's something they call
Exactly.
reformative practices. There are reformative practices in this case where you are not just growing the child, where he already has the behaviors. You need to think reform. How do you, it depending on how
Yeah.
bad or like what behavior is actually exhibiting, you need to think reform. Like, how then do we change this? And I think that the beginning to change is to understand the source. Why is this child acting this way? What went wrong? Where did we get it wrong?
Thank you.
Like, what's the source of
Yeah.
this issue? And then pick it up from there. How do we correct? Okay, let's say for example, the child is already a pathological liar, and like that's just it. It's just brings up life from like without even thinking, right?
Yeah.
So to change that kind of behavior, you need to first understand what does this child, what does he think about the truth? Like, is the truth
And what
so
are the
dreadful?
triggers
What's
as well?
exactly his notion? What's his understanding of the truth? Coming to understand where the source of that behavior is from, and then educating that child, because most times I believe that children act or children grow to become what they become because of ignorance.
Hmm.
Ignorance, I mean, like they just, I mean, and then since nobody's correcting them at that time, it just feels like the perfect thing to do, the
Yeah.
way to go, and then they just
It
go
just
on in it.
goes.
So yeah, they
Exactly.
just go on in it. So correcting that ignorance should be like the focus of the parents at that time, and it should not also be something that is done with force, because another mistake parents make is now trying to be strict, all those like what you should have started
And
with now that
enforce
the
what they
child is
want to
already.
see. Yeah.
Exactly. You just understand that yes, there will be change, but it has to be like there's a process to it. It doesn't just come like that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think you've hit some really really good points there, and I believe that also parents can also try to model some of the things that they want their child or their boy child to
Mm,
be.
mm,
A lot of parents are more talk than do. It's better when they, like what you said earlier on, a lot of children model what they model what they see and they put it out because they believe that that is the good thing, that is the way to go. But until when parents start to model the right behavior, right attitude, then you start to see those discipline that you want to see come out emphatically in them. And I think we should start gathering our thoughts back now. I'm going to come back to you, Faithful. And you mentioned something, and I want us to touch on that again about coming together, collaboratively now to train the boy child. And I want to believe that's one of the reasons why we established Train the Boys initiative. And it's a beautiful, vision that the convener brought together so that we'll be able to, use those collaborative projects, because a lot of people, they are in ignorance. They don't actually know what to do. They see their boys on the decline. They don't know what to do, and it's one of the reasons why Train the Boys exist. We do outreaches, we do counseling. We have our outreaches that cater to the very very need of the boy child, where we're able to reach the child personally and tell them exactly what to do. And in some other instances, we've also had the opportunity, to talk to teachers, guardians, and parents about these things, because we believe that in collaborating together, we're able to solve this problem, that we're talking about. So, what do you say, Faithful? How can parents, especially with some of the programs that we have at TTB, how can parents, key into some of these things, and how can we help boys become better disciplined, become better, get better results from them, from all of these issues that we have raised? Did you get that, Faithful?
All right. Thank you,
I don't know if
Mr.
Faithful got me there.
Before I dive into what you just said, I quickly want to,
What? Okay, go ahead.
can you hear me?
yes, we can.
Yes, I quickly want to touch on what Dami just talked about. She raised a very good
Yes,
and
yes.
valid point, and I just want to quickly to go back and trace the root cause as a parent before you can undo it. And that's the point I really want us to put out there, that this my child that is exhibiting this bad behavior.
Mm.
What is my own contribution in this?
Mm.
You know, the truth is,
Mm.
the first thing first is that you must first of all
Correct.
understand what is the, what is the root of this issue. Then how am I contributing as a parent to this issue? I was saying that for these children, that their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until there is certain age. And what that means is that they do not evaluate consequences.
Mm.
Sure.
So they need a parent who is there. And that's what we bring to the collaboration. At every stage in a boy child's life, as it's growing or an individual, there's a bit certain behavior we consider as growing. Parents need to understand that it's at that time is collaborating with that child. Either you can decide a bad behavior, a bad child, whatever. A time comes that all you need to do is to sit down. How do you do this? You begin to talk to the child,
Mm.
begin to the child, you identify help, avenues that can help your child. Like it's a place where you can begin to expose your child to things like
Mm.
that. Anywhere you find
Mm.
new that you find. So when you identify all,
Mm.
that's you collaborating. That's you
Mm.
in collaboration with your child to be the best with organizations that are aligning with the issues you're dealing with.
That's
You
true.
even need to seek professional help as you go along. The professional help is not
Exactly.
this behavior is as a result of parents
Yeah.
who are already also damaged, who are already also that what is you have. You model to your child where you want that child to be. They believe what you want they see than what you see you as a battered parent. They automatically will be a battered child. It will take God's intervention. So this
You see. Yeah.
you, to help
Sure.
their child move from that realm of, let's say, bad child. For me, there's no such thing as bad child. Nothing.
Mhm.
All depends on what the child is exposed to and what the child is responding to the exposure.
Sure.
So when the parent begin to know better and educate themselves better, and that's why organizations like these are in place. Saying the boys, yeah, they begin to know better. And at some you collaborate. How do you collaborate with TCB? And your child has gone there, your child has been cancelled, coming back home is
Mm.
that home in helping whatever they have started in that home. They to do so much work and the child goes back home to a parent who doesn't even know what to do. I think the parent needs to also come to the level of understanding what to do everything themselves.
Mm.
Mr. Noel, are you there?
All right. All right. I think those are. You're saying something, Dami.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So now, from the things that we've shared, I would I would like us to now try to, try to do a recap, so that we'll be able to, get our thoughts together. One of the fine things that Faithful said earlier on is that there is no child that is beyond redemption. There is no bad child. Every child can still be corrected, especially when they're even through, when they are still going through the formative years. And again, parents need to take advantage of learning platforms like Train the Boys initiative, where we can collaborate together to grow the boy child. There's a quote that says that collaboration is not a choice, it is a necessity. One of the things that this world has taught us is that we need to work together to get the results that we want. And like the Yoruba adage says a tree does not make a forest. So especially when it comes to training, you meet people who will help you, get some of the values that you want into your child. I remember when I was growing up as a boy
Yeah.
child, I had people, I had older men who I looked up to, who I believe were very, very critical to the man that I become today. That's aside aside the teaching, aside the grooming that I got from my parents, my father, my mother. Those are invaluable, and they are things that we also need to pass on to the next generation, especially for this generation that we are raising. And while we are at that, we also must be, sensitive about the cultural background, because that is very important. We have to be sensitive about the cultural background. We have to be, because people come from diverse backgrounds and various training, various experiences. Those are the things that we need to, put in place, put in mind rather, so that we'll be able to, grow our boys to become the champions that we want them, to be. So from this, I want us to leave, like a 2 or 3 sentences to just wrap up. I'll start with Faithful, and then we go to Dami, and then I'll say mine. I don't know if Bukola is with us and would like to leave a comment before we go. So Faithful, let's have that closing words from you.
All right. As we round up, I will say that for every parent, if you need to seek knowledge, please do for the sake of your boy child. You cannot parent a 21st century boy child in ignorance. They know a lot. So if you need to seek knowledge as a parent, please go ahead. Secondly, find your tribe. Find your tribe as a parent and collaborate together to raise a better child. Thirdly, remember there is no such thing as a bad boy. There is only a boy who is exposed to
All
certain
right.
conditions
I
and
don't
is
know,
bringing
Dami.
out the negative side of the child. So for every boy child out there, there is no. All right. Ooh,
Okay.
I think Reverend's network.
Yes. Well, to conclude, for me, I'd say that as much as Pitchford said that you cannot parent a child in ignorance, it's important that as you learn, or as we learn as parents, that we don't just listen and then leave it at that. Let's be intentional about using the things that we learn. Intentional about really using. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of this. I mean, if you listen, you read books, you seek advice, and then you don't use it, at the end of the day, it's still zero. Thank you.
Yeah. Dami, thank you. I don't know if Sister Bukola is there.
Yes, but I can't really speak because I'm in a public place.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I think Dami, thank you. Would that be all from you? Is that all from
Yes,
you, Dami?
yes, that'll be all for me.
All right. I think we lost. we lost Reverend due to network, and that is it. So I don't know if there's something
He's
else
back.
Seems
any
back.
of us still want to say.
He's back.
Okay, it's back. Let's wait for it.
Well, on a closing note, I would just say that we should mull over all the things that we've talked about, and it's good that we have all of this. It's been a wonderful, wonderful session from over 5 weeks, 5 episodes, of all of this,
Okay.
and I believe that we will do more of this, and we implore parents, guardians, or every trainer of the boy child to key into this. It is very, very important to join us in the campaign of what Train the Boys does, and we can't emphasize enough the impact of what we're doing. It cuts across generation. What we're doing now may seem small, but it is something that will spread across time, reach different people, different categories of people, different races. It is just about ensuring that we train the boy child right. And on this note, I want to appreciate Faithful for coming up. I also want to appreciate Dami. Thank you for being here. I know that Bukola cannot talk right now because of where she is, and she just gave us a wave earlier on, and it's wonderful doing this. And next time when we come your way, keep training your boy child. Don't neglect them. Ensure you put in all your best resources to do that, and I'm very sure that by the time you know it, that boy child will become the man that you want him to be. All right, so from me here, it's bye. See you some other time. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Noel. Bye, everyone. Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.